Great. All right, so why don't we start with this across our shoulder blades first. As your back, sort of take it near the tip of the blades. The tail curls up and support the head with your hands, thumbs along the occipital ridge. And then we inhale to arch back. We stretch the line from your jaw all the way to your tailbone. The tail curls into the mat and then it goes back to the ground. Exhale, tip your head forward with your hands, pull the elbows down in towards your navel and curl the tail up to your gaze. And then we arch back again. So both ends of the spine go back into the floor towards each other. And then exhale. Draw that semicircle of the spine in the opposite direction into flexion with the tail up and the chest forward, the gaze down. So just yawing your body open, rocking the pelvis here. And then exhale, forward and up. The whole rectus line, jaw to tail, mitts together. And then we're going to let it pay out to stretch open. And the roller can be adjusted if you feel like you need a little less stretch in your upper rib cage. You would take the roller, less stretch would mean that you would want to take the roller higher up towards the neck. More stretch, it would go a little bit lower towards the base of the ribs. But definitely keep the roller underneath the rib cage. As you do this, you're not putting like excess pressure into your kidneys. And then let's flip back again. Let your head just hang with the support of your hands and hang to lengthen the throat. Feel that stretch into your jaw, into the armpits as the elbows go wide and down. Pull the arms together. Pulling them together and down will broaden the blades on your back. And now from here, we're going to stand into the feet, just the feet so that feels comfortable for your knees. Lift your hips. And we're going to pull the knees and hips forward to roll to the very top of the shoulders, but not the neck. Hips can be elevated, hip can fall back. And then we curl up towards an upper curl as you push away from your legs, rolling again just at the base of the ribs. And gliding here, so we're going up and down the thoracic spine, getting that deep tissue massage with the roller. And if the flexion extension doesn't work for you, and sometimes it doesn't, like you get off on the wrong foot, so to speak, then you can just keep a plank and go back and forth. But if you can organize yourself today to do the flexion extension, you get a lot more deep tissue massage. So the feet push down, glutes push up as you go into your extension, and the knees going forward over the toes will allow us to get a little bit more stretch of the quads. And meanwhile, the whole thing going back and forth along the rib cage really massages out the upper back, and particularly the area of the scapula by your shoulder blades. When we come back to an upper curl, let's lower the hips down. And then simply reach the right. We go as far as you can to the edge of your lap here, and then go to the other side, anchoring down through the opposite hip. Twist one side to the other. And back we go again. And one last time. Right, and then rock up to sitting. And we're going to move this across under. Laying onto your back here, the head is flat, press the feet, lift your hips up. And this roller goes across the sacrum. We're going to just begin by pulling the right knee into your chest, exhale the left. And then let the knees tip over to one side. Turn your head to look away. And exhale to the opposite side. So the knees go left and right. Keep the right shoulder grounded and even headed. I'll go again. Giving yourself a deep tissue massage across the glute. And a little stretch also through the opposite hip. As you really work into that rotation of your spine. Take your time to read through it. You do an inhale into the stretch. And an exhale to come back up to neutral. Gaze and knees point to the ceiling. One more time. The shoulder girdle stays heavy, the blades are anchored. And we go once more to the left, and you can look away. Pull back to center. Lift the legs up to the ceiling. Stretch the knees open and bring the legs back far enough overhead that you feel stretch into your hamstrings. The tail can curl up a little bit so you have a sort of a rounded low back. And then from here, let's slide the left leg forward and out. Joint arc down away from the hip socket. And then we're going to switch the legs. Inhale for one switch and an exhale for the next. The knees can slightly bend. Of course, whatever feels like it's giving you the best stretch into the hamstring and then the best stretch into the quad and the hip joint here as the leg lowers down. This is a good place to notice if the lateral thigh is tight, like around the IT band. If that is true, then the leg would drift out sideways or laterally away from the line here of the hip. And then we'll bring both legs up to the ceiling, externally rotate, and just start with a double leg side split, pulling it apart, exhale together. I'm going to go look at my phone. My sister's in the hospital, so I'm just keeping my phone on right now. All right, and then when both legs are up at the top, we'll alternate. One leg up to the top, and then the right leg goes out to the side and down. Pull it on up, lift it here, close the heels together, and then take the left leg out and down. Get that good stretch to the upper inner thighs, and then close slowly. So it drifts downhill, sort of put the brakes on it. And then exhale, drag it up. There should be a slight pause at the bottom of the movement so that you don't just rebound and bounce back up. So you reach, lengthen, and then pull it up with control. And we take it over and down again. Exhale. To move it up, and just one more time. From here, right leg back over the chest, left leg forward into your split, and we circle legs wide and around, tracing a big circle on the ceiling with the tips of your toes. Moving through this here. There's a rotation at the hip socket so that the joint gets fully lubricated from the synovial fluid, and so that you get a lot of stretch and work into the muscles around your hip. Soft point. There's a little air flowing between your toes as you move. And then both legs up to the ceiling. Forward bicycle, legs in parallel. One knee pulls in, the other leg stretches out. Try to lower the leg as much as you can, and then slide the toes in across the mat. Again, watch the tracking of your leg out of the socket. Means that you're really working, thinking about working from your inner thigh line to the big toe and the big toe ball of the foot. Keep stretching the leg as far out as you can, and then pull it in as deep as you can before extending it. And then when you find a good place to pause, reverse. When you bend the knee, bring the toes down to the mat and skate the legs forward across the mat before you lift each one up. And then when you pull the knee into your chest, try to keep the leg straight until you have to bend it. And then let's bring both legs up to the ceiling. And let's bend both knees here. Exhale, lower the feet down to the mat. Maybe rotate the lower and here, maybe slide a little bit more forward, wherever you need to be. And here we're stretching the right leg forward, the right arm goes back. Open up that right front line. Back of the hand on the floor. If your chest is tight, if your shoulders are tight, take the arm a little bit more laterally out on a diagonal from your shoulder, as well as behind you. Eventually, you want it to be, as close to parallel to the neck and head as possible. But we never force it. We let the joints figure out what works for them and then gradually open up around them. The right leg, again, feel in front of the socket, and maybe a little external rotation here through that upper thigh. Another deep breath in. Exhale the air out slowly. And then we'll bring forward, slide the foot back in. And now for the left, extend that out. The stretch might feel different, either more loose or tight. But just relax into whatever's best for that side. So here we're still thinking about the rise and fall of the abdominal wall on the inhale and lifts. On the exhale, it sinks. And that matches and builds on the expansion of the rib cage as the lungs expand on the inhale. The ribs expand, the belly expands too, and then exhale. The air leaves the lungs, the ribs get in, the abdominal wall contracts all the way around that pelvic girdle. So it's almost like a balloon expanding on the inhale. And then contracting with the exhale. Just a couple more breaths. Really feel weight into the back of your hand, into your shoulders, into your hips on the roller, and into your feet. All right, we're going to lower the hand, bring the feet back in, bring the foot in, lift up, and then slide, roll out. And we'll come up to sitting. We're going to do the full body rotation now. So we'll take the roller across your mat and then turn over onto one side. Now the roller is going to be on a slight diagonal, higher towards your chest and a little lower towards your hips. And then you'll lay down onto it. And you can take it right into the armpit here. If you want to turn your mat sideways, if that would be helpful, you can, or just look at Olivia's done this before. So there you go. So knees are bent and the legs are stacked, the feet aligned, so the heels aligned with your tail and with your shoulders and even with the back of your skull. Both hands hug the skull, and you have maybe 8 to 10 inches in front of your armpit on the roller in front of you, and a lot more behind you because we are going to rotate forward and back. Now, tuck the chin into your chest, look down at your abdominals, and then we're going to close that top elbow in around the roller. So you're going to feel the back widen, the space between the blades opens up. This is where we start. Now bring your gaze across the roller, across the floor to the wall in front of you and up the wall to the ceiling. As your gaze moves across the ceiling, you're going to rotate backwards. Hopefully the roller will be there so that you can rest your other shoulder blade onto it. You always make a little adjustment as you need to. The bottom leg is still grounded, the top knee will lift and slide back a little bit. And then we can pick up the bottom elbow and drop the top one. Let the head fall back into your hands, so into a little extension with that rotation of the cervical spine, right? As your head moves back into your hands. Feel that stretch here across the chest, into the throat, eyes look back at the floor. To come out of it, we leave the head and the elbows where they are. We pull the top knee forward and start to rotate the hips. Come up onto your sideline and then work up your spine. Vertebra by vertebra rotates to bring you back around where you started
And at the end, you tuck your chin in, forehead towards the roller, and embrace the roller with your elbows. You now feel how the back has broadened, the space between the blades opened. Here you're stretching your mid-traps, your rhomboids. And now the gaze goes forward again. So we are rotating the vertebra one by one from the top to the tail. The top knee slides back to allow the hip to fall back as needed to really get the support of the roller under both shoulders. And then the hands definitely support the skull, thumbs to fix a little ridge. Other fingers sort of cup the skull, giving it like a nice base of support here. Now leave the head hanging back. Again, start moving your knee, your hip forward. And then I like to think of the tail spinning to move the sacrum and then work up the vertebra one by one. All the way around to down, chin to chest, look down. You're looking into the roller, into your chest. And embrace the roller with your arms. One more time. Forward with the gaze, up and back in an arc. The body follows the gaze from the top towards the tail. Just enjoy that stretch slightly across your belly to your armpit and the other side. And then again, we start, move the top leg forward, that moves the pelvic girdle, the hip bone. And then think of the tail spinning. As each vertebra starts from the bottom to spin, it pulls the next one in line into rotation. Bone after bone after bone, until you're all the way back where we started. Great. That looked amazing. Hopefully it felt the same way. And now we're coming up to do the other side. Yes. The other thing I probably should have said too is like, if you feel that it's like too much pressure into the side hip, just please grab another couple of mats and put them underneath so that it depends on sort of how your hip bones are aligned as to whether it feels good or not. Right? And sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So again, we're cuddling the roller into the armpit here and support your head with your hands. So frame your face with the wings here. And the knees are stacked, feet aligned with your sits bones. And let's hug on in. Gaze goes down. Embrace the roller with your arms. And then move the gaze forward across the room to the wall and up the wall to the ceiling. Gradually roll back. If you have a darker roller, because here is at the space it's for, the white rollers are like less pressure, less intense surface. And then the gray rollers are sort of the medium ones, the dark charcoal ones, the black ones are the most intense and the most pressure into the body. So if you feel like the roller that you have is too intense for you, you can always just put a towel between you and the roller. Or like here, you could choose a different roller. We're coming around from the bottom to the top and hug the chest in with the elbows. Gaze is tipped down to stretch the back of the neck. And again, the gaze moves forward, out into space, up the wall, across the ceiling. It may depend too on where exactly the roller is placed under you as to whether you're getting the intense push into the shoulder blade where it would need it. So you can experiment a little bit with this now or when you have time if you practice this later. This is excellent for our spines and for the muscles around them. My teacher, Eric Franklin, made a point of teaching us that our spines need to move in every dimension every single day. So we do a lot of flexion typically, not so much extension, hardly any second, very little rotation for most adults in our culture. So this ensures that the vertebrae get to work in many different dimensions, which helps really improve the health of the discs as well as the muscles around the spine. Okay, so that was the third one. We're back where we started. And then we can come on up. When you're finished, don't let me rush you. I was chatting and not leaving the class through the pace of the movement. All right, does that feel good? Let's just take a stretch. All right, and now we'll get more stretches as we do our rolls. So extend forward. Be sure that the head is here and on it. And let's actually, since we're all sitting, let's start sliding things down the legs, lift the toes, pull the waist back. The shoulder can pull forward. Right, it's okay, they're not going to get stuck there. And then we'll start to stack the spine up, the hands slide up the legs towards the knees. And then look down, curl the tail up, and we're going to lift the arms, reach for the far wall as we roll back into the mat. Slow and calm. You go all the way down and take the arms back behind you, arms by the ears. So let's lift the arms, start to lift the head and shoulders, move through an upward curl into that roll up. Up with the head, the arms can lift where you can support them, and then dive low. Feel your body wrapping around a ball here. And then think of that ball rolling up the belly, towards the waist, towards the chest, towards your chin, and it rolls you all the way down. The arms might lower a bit, so you have full control of the movement and the timing. Let's lift again. We start with the arms, we lift the head, neck, shoulders, big exhale before you pick up the ribs. And come up as slowly as you can, trying to work equally left and right side. You may know which side is stronger, more developed, and in which case ask the other side to pick up the slack and maybe be the leader here for a little bit. You can also tell when you go down. If there's more development on one side, that side will go down first, and then the other side will melt into the mat. So you can pay attention to the pressure sensations in your back as you go back onto the mat to tell where you might be lacking in some of the muscle and where it's more developed. All right, and then we're going to roll back into our hundreds. So ready for your upper curls. The legs reach forward, the arms reach forward, you tuck, look down, and then go back to the tip of the blades. Arms at your sides, you can pull the knees in, and then lift the legs up to the ceiling, but don't look at your feet, look down at your navel, and pump the arms, inhaling and exhaling. Here you have the option of taking the roller or a ball underneath the shoulder blades. So lift the chest up a little higher and practice rolling the shoulders in slightly, maybe rotating the arms slightly internally to gather the arms in, move the shoulders curve, moving the shoulder blades away from the spine and letting the ribs sink back and down between. You go long through the arms, you go long through the legs, and you choose the position of the legs that works your low abs without changing the position of the upper abdominal. So if the shoulders fall back, if the head falls back, pull the legs in, start over, put your hands to your legs while you adjust. And one last breath here. And then fold it all in and lay your head down. Rock your hips side to side, releasing that. All right, and we grab their band for single circles. Take the center of the band around the metatarsal of the ball of the foot. Anchor the elbows to the side and then slide the elbows closer to your hips. As you extend the left leg forward, just lift that right leg up to the ceiling. You feel that stretch as the heels go high and the toes pull back. You're going to feel the stretch of the calf as well as the hamstring here. So the calf stretch will be diminished when you do a salt point through the foot, and the calf stretch will increase as you lift the heel and flexion of the ankle. And then the hamstring stretch, of course, increases as you pull the foot back over your chest towards your shoulder. You do just a couple more of these. Another point, exhale and flex. And end in a soft point. We circle the leg across the body, so right leg is left, right hip is heavy. Go up, down, out to the side, around and up to the ceiling. One breath. Short inhale for a quarter of the distance. Exhale all the way around until you exhale to the top, and you're glad for that next inhalation. Breathe in as deeply as you can and then fade the air out slowly. We're doing two more in this direction. You're reaching longer out into the band, let the band support you, but also give you sort of a challenge to see if you can extend it, lengthen it, expand it, and stretch away. Now at the top, we're reversing. leg is an external rotation out to the side, pressing into the arms. We're holding the hips steady here on the mat. So before the leg moves right, you have to get the left side pressing into the floor. Before the leg moves to the left, you have to get the right side pushing into the ground. So everything that touches the mat works to help you stabilize here against any tightness you have in the inner thigh, any, well, it's just a challenge, right? Taking the length of your leg away from center, you're increasing the load away from your midline, and then it's harder to keep the body stable. We're gonna come here to the top, and that's how we work the core, right? So we have the other bent at your right side, but as in the bend in the right hand, maybe your left hand to the left tip of the crest, and rotate the leg out to the side. Without tipping the pelvis, there's the work in your oblique abdominals. You'll feel the abdominal workout. And then rock the legs gently towards your shoulder and away. Just a little tiny rocking action here. And we're focused more on bringing it towards the shoulder and less so at bringing it away from the shoulder. Exhale to bring the leg up to the ceiling, switch hands. The left hand now is the anchor for the strap, and the elbow is the anchor for the body. So we're bringing that leg across and really reach as far out into space as you can while you keep the collarbones wide and the shoulder blades grounded. You can even turn your head and look away for a little bit more weight on that side. Now pull that right leg towards your left shoulder, and now rotate the leg internally to get even more stretch into your glute. If you wanted to, take your hand onto the right hip bone and push it away from the waist. All right, and then we unwind from the left shoulder to the waist to the right glute, leg up in the air. And then walk your hands up high onto the band. Then lift the head back and shoulders coming up to an upright curl with the support of the band. And pull the leg back a bit as your body starts to accept and lean into that stretch. Right, fold the knee in, release the strap, take it off, and hug the knee into your chest. We're just going to stretch it forward right now and shake it out, shake out both legs. Definitely the new and improved one is much happier, right? So we're going to work down the left leg, get it back up to matching the other one. So we pull the left one in, bend the foot. Lift the leg up. Again, elbows slide forward so the shoulders aren't punched up by the ears. You want a nice long, beautiful neck. As you lift the leg up, lift through the heel and try to feel that stretch into the calf, as well as pulling the leg back towards your chest to get the stretch in the hamstring. Just do a few point flexes. Then reach up to the ball of the foot, then the toes point. Pull the toes back and then lift the heel to angle the foot down towards the shin. This probably feels really good after your run on Sunday. Yes. And after a few of those, see if you pull the leg a little closer and towards your shoulder. If you want to put a string behind the knees, you can do this also with a slightly soft knee. Or even a big bend in the knee if you're really tight in this back line. All right, so extend the leg forward and out a little bit. Restart your circles. Keep the left side grounded as the left leg moves to the right. Feel that length across the hip, go low, out around to the side, and up to the top. Of course, adjust your strap as you need to. You can pay it out or shake it off. So we reach, pivoting here from the elbows, trying to hold the elbows down on the mat to help your stability here through the upper body, which will help you stabilize the hips as well. Internally rotate as it crosses over. It moves through neutral at the bottom. Externally rotate as leg moves out into space and away from your center. Just two more. Remember the breathing. The deep inhale starts at the top, and then it's a long, slow exhale. The longer the exhalation, the more work you're going to get into the deep core, the transverse abdominal muscle in particular. We'll come around to the top here, pause, and let's reverse. Inhale, weight in the right side, so we lose left, go low. Exhale, drag it across, float all the way up, and it floats away again. Going low, over around, and pull it up and lift. So we're drawing these beautiful circles or ovals in the sky, but we're also working on rotation at the hip socket. That just gives the leg a better fit into the joint when we do that. Let's complete with one more circle. Reach a little further with every breath. And then at the top, we'll take both ends of the band into your left hand. Anchor the elbow down, hold the right hand on the right hip bone, and bring the leg out to the left without tipping the pelvis up into your hand. If you have that, you can extend the arm out 90 degrees from the body and look at that hand. Then I'd like you to rock the leg a little bit towards your shoulder and chest. You can be as bent, as soft as you need it to be to get the stretch where you want it. It's about treating your body and helping it get stronger and more flexible and more aware, and not about looking like a picture in a magazine or on Instagram. So we're going to let the leg lift up to the ceiling, switch hands, and we'll bring that leg across, reach your left hand to your left hip, push it away and down. As the leg lifts, you may start to gradually lift the hip. You can extend the left arm out and look at that hand. And now pull the left foot towards your right shoulder, rotate the leg internally. Keep checking in, where do you need to lengthen, where are you feeling the stretch? How intense is that for your body? Like, is that a good thing, or do you need to ease off, or can you go a little further? Remembering also that if you're hypermobile, you don't want to go to your end range, right? That's when you get into trouble. And then let's pull the foot down, lift the foot to the sky. Give it a little tug, pull it closer towards your chest. And then we're walking the hands up. And now lifting into the upper curl. So the head, neck, and shoulders pull off the ground. The elbows go wide and bend to help you lift up through the upper body, off the mat. You can curl the tail up slightly and really press your waist down. And then see if you can pull the leg back a little closer over your head. And then fold the knee into your chest. Bend to the side, put the knee in nice and tight. And then we'll lay down and release that leg forward, shake out your legs. When they relax, they'll both be a little externally rotate, definitely longer, more relaxed even at the foot and ankle. And ready to move on to the next thing. So arms lift up and back, yawn your body open here to the sky. Lift the arms, head, neck, shoulders roll up. And we're coming out to the front third of your mat for rolling like a ball. Edges of the feet together, easier hands and thighs, a little more difficult hands to shins. Elbows wide, and you curl the tail up, pull the waist back in your C curve, pick up your feet. Inhale, we lift the tail to start the movement. Don't throw the head back. That will take you back, but it's not good for your neck, right? So we keep the gaze fixed on the navel as we lift the tail. Pull your shoulder blades, but not your neck or your head, and exhale, come right back up. So breathing through this, inhale to the tip of the blades, exhale, you want that exhale already engaging as you switch direction and return to where you started. Massage out your back. Here's where you definitely want to be sure you have enough padding underneath you. We have lots of yoga pads here. If you're at home doing this, you can always put your yoga mat or Pilates mat on the carpet or on a beach towel, something like that, for extra padding if you need it. Tail in the air, shoulders over hips when you come back up, and one more time. Inhale to roll, and then exhale to roll back where we started. Okay, for the ab series, here we are. So right hand to the right ankle, left hand below the shin, below the knee on the shin. We're going to roll back to your upright curl and let the left leg float up as you roll back. Use the push of your hand and leg up to the ceiling to go down with control.
elbows wide. We're gonna inhale and switch the legs, outside hand to the ankle. Pull the knee in as close as you can as the other leg reaches out, as far as possible. We're tracking the legs straight in and straight out. I like to think each one has its own lane. It goes right along that straight line out of the hip joint and pulls right back in, knee to the chest. When you have your hands to your legs, use that opportunity to come up a little deeper in your upper curl. Try to hold it as you release the leg. We're going to end with the left leg in. And bring the right knee in two, and then go straight it down. Turn your head side to side. And now we're rolling up to sitting. So it's definitely easier to start from above to find your best upper curl than it is to come from below. At some point, you would add that into your practice. I just try to get people flexible and strong enough first, so they're not really over feeling it in your neck. And then two, remember you can always, if you're really not flexible here, if it's really a strain to even pull the shoulders forward and lift the weight of your head, elevate yourself at the ball here at the base of your blades. Right? So, anyways, do what works for you. And we're going into the double leg stretch next. So arms forward, look down. This is your chance to get more curve in your spine to help you with your upper curls. Throughout your practice, pull both knees in, edges of the feet pulled together, hands to your shins, elbows wide, lift your chest a little higher, look down your nose at your abs. Now, we're going to lift both arms and legs up to the ceiling, arms apart, legs together. Like stay together as you circle the arms wide around and embrace the knees in, reconnect to the upper curl. It's so tempting to look up, watching the feet go toward the sky. Try not to do that, because if you look up, you're going to flatten your spine towards the ground, and you'll definitely feel it more in your neck and less in your abs. The opposite of our intention. So if you're on this open, pull it tight. When you first start, it might just be your arms straight up. It might even be supporting your head with your hands and just lifting the legs and holding the back, right? All kinds of modifications. So we roll up next for scissors. We did it earlier on the roller. That would still be an option, particularly if your hamstrings are really tight. But we're going to do the ab version now. So roll back. You can pull the knees in and then float the right leg up, left leg forward and down. Reach your hands as high up on your leg towards your ankle as you can. And really try to lift your chest forward here. Inhale, we're switching the legs. One goes out and down, one goes up and back. Again, we're tracking the leg, looking down and nose at the abdominal wall. The chin tucks slightly in towards your chest. To stretch the back of the neck, but also soften the throat. Just breathe through it, inhale for one leg and exhale for the other. And as you pull the leg in, try to pull the body up, work your arms as well as the stretch in your legs. Both legs lift to the ceiling, support the base of your skull with your hands. Elbows up, elbows down, elbows in. Now, you want to be super careful here. The legs slide forward just a little bit. With the increased load in the lower abdominals without arching the back. Exhale. Pull the waist down, navel to spine as you pull the legs up. So you want to do this slowly so that you are in control. So if you just throw the legs down and then throw them up again, you're going to get into trouble. You're not going to go where your spine can accept the work, the weight of the legs here. So the psoas is the muscle that pays out the legs and pulls them back up. The abdominals that you feel are the muscles working to keep the pelvis stable and steady while this work happens. So going lower, definitely you'll feel the increased load into the abdominals, and you'll also feel that the work happens in a different place with every difference in height of the legs from the floor. So good, let's twist to the right, up and forward, and twist to the left. Shoot the other leg out long as the counter weight is the counterbalance. Inhale one side, exhale to the other. Let's do one more set. Pull your chest forward. It's almost armpit to the inner knee. And then center, rest it down. And let's just for a moment take the ball across the near of the neck. And hold on to the outer edge of your hand.
Knees together, knees are bent, feet are grounded, take your feet a little wider than your mat. And slowly turn it inside. If you're right along that occipital ridge, you can feel the bony ridge here, the base of the skull. And if you find a spot that really needs it, do a gentle rocking very slowly from one side to the other, or even little circles with your nose. And reverse the direction. And then go to the other side. Do the rocking. And do the circles. One direction and then to the other. All right, slowly roll it out. And coming up to sitting for spine stretch. Legs open, lift the tail up the wall behind you. Sit upright and your arms coming forward. And then turn the palms up, give your arms back. Add a little upper back extension. Good. And then turn the palms forward, imagine rolling that ball across the ceiling to the wall and down the wall to the floor. Pull the waist back as you dive here. The tail moves forward, the head moves forward towards the tail, and the waist pulls back. And then you push through the sits bones, press through your heels, step up like you're sitting your back up a wall. I think the wall only goes to the blades and waterfall backwards over the top. And then forward to dive. The gaze moves the head. So coming up, I bring the gaze across the mat, across the floor to the wall, up the wall to the ceiling, and above you. And even the eyes go back a little further. Then just let your gaze move your body forward across the ceiling, down the wall, to the floor, and across the floor and in between. So the gaze, just like in yoga, that drishti will not only help you hold a pose, but also help you like adjust your movement. Yep. One more if you want it. It looks gorgeous. And good job not opening the angle at your hips, because it is sort of hard when you go up and back not to lean back with the torso, which then will put more strain in your back. So you want to be sure that you're staying vertically up on your sits bones and then have the waterfall happen in the thoracic spine and not hip extension. You guys look good. All right, let's close the legs together here for spine twist. So feet flex, arms out to the side, reach the hands slightly in front of your collarbones and fingers long. Rotate to the right and twist 1, 2, 3, center and to the left. Twisting here on your axis. Again, staying perched on your sits bones. Arms long, imagine your arms like poses with water shooting out your fingertips. It's also a good practice to come back to center periodically. Take your hands on top of your head and then pull your head up into your hands. Even maybe take your thumbs to the occipital ridge and try to lift your head a little higher to feel that decompression in your spine. Now, as you rotate to the right, don't make it about your elbows, make it about your waist, your ribcage, twisting the pulse, 2, 3, and then lift back to center. So when you rotate, the body melts a little bit towards the ground. You need that because the ligaments that are on a diagonal have to tighten on one side and lengthen on the other, which means that the body gets a little shorter as you rotate. And then as you unwind, it comes to its most vertical position, right? You're the tallest in your center. If you think about twisting a washcloth or a bathing suit, when you bring it out, you can see like the hands stay close together as you twist the fabric more. Same thing here with our bodies. Come back to center and then just dive forward again. Pull the toes back, reach wherever you can. Shins, ankles, feet, whatever. Get more stretch here in the calves. And let the shoulders come up by your ears. And just pull your ribcage back, pull your waist back. We're stacking the spine up again or soft. So open the legs. If you know you're tight in the low back and the
hamstrings, definitely bend the knees or even elevate your hips up on a yoga block or some blocks. So we take the arms out, again, a little in front of the collarbone, so not way back here because that puts us into too much extension. So just like as you look straight ahead, you should see your fingers and thumbs. And now we're going to twist and dive over your left hand, over to the right, half ankle, thigh, whatever you can reach, and then pull the right shoulder up and back. Do a little bit more rotation to the upper body and a little bit more length and reach the back hand. Now push down, equal weight over the six legs, push the floor down to come up. Keep the twist, now unwind and spin in the other direction. So we go over and down, the back palm lifts and pulls back, and then roll your shoulder back a little bit on the left. We're coming up. The arms still reaching as far away from each other as possible. Twist, dive, and stretch over and down. Up right here. Unwind, spin, and lengthen all the way. Come up and center, and the arms go down. All right, a little teaser prep here. So we're going to take the band around your feet again. Be sort of centered on your mat, and we wrap the band around the balls of the feet, metatarsals. So if you're up on the band, you want your hands pretty close to your feet here. Now we're going to tuck, round the low back. You're going to sit back towards your sacrum, and when you can, let the knees lift and lift the feet. So for women, toes at eye level. For guys, because they have more weight in their chest, the feet would be a little bit lower, right? So you want to figure out where your balance point is. And that also may depend on your proportion. So you're going to find where you feel like you're in a good balance point here on that sacral row. All right, now we're going to look down, curl the tail up, and start to go back on the sacrum. And then the feet can push away at eye level or a little below. You're going to push the legs out, and the heels will touch when you touch down with the tip of the blades. Lay your head and neck back. And then we lift head, neck, and shoulders. The elbows can go a little wide, the shoulders pull forward. Float the legs up. You can bend the knees as you bring the feet up to find that balance point again. Yeah. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Yay. Everybody feel good in the low back, going down and coming up? Perfect. The most important thing is to find that pelvic tuck first, and then reach the legs out only when you feel like you can. Right? So you want to rock over the sacrum by lifting the tail, come down, and next thing, this point to really check that you're safe is heels down, you're in an upright curl, and then come out of the upright curl. Because if you go all the way down with your shoulders and head and your feet are in the air, for sure your low back is going to hurt. And you could actually, you know, in an extreme case, you could pull the vertebra out of position with the disc out of position, because the deep psoas muscle connects to all of those bones and the discs. So let's lift him up again. But if you pay attention to where you are, do this thoughtfully. And when you're ready to, and use your modifications, you can build strength into this, which is one of the things we look for, right? So awareness, strength, flexibility, all combined into one package. Intelligence in the body, and then the strength and flexibility to support the movements. Come down, reach it out, lower it down, like that, and one more time to come up. Okay, excellent. Lower the feet down, dance inside. All right, so here we're going to play a little bit moving into a more advanced exercise, right? Because you guys have done so well with all the points so far, right? So this one's called boomerang. So it begins with one ankle crossed over the other. So I have the right over the left. And where we can start to practice this is bring your hands a little in front of your hips, like you would think it would be behind. Actually, you need it in front. Push down and then just pick up the top leg, the right leg. And try to do that without buckling the spine, right? Because if you roll back, it's easy to pick up the leg. Our thought process here is we should be able to hit back against a wall and pull the leg up. It's so much quad and flexor
it's really annoying, right? But think about the energy going down your back and up to pick up the legs. So we're going to work a little bit deeper into the body to think about the psoas. So press down, lift, lower, more, and then uncross, recross the leg. Maybe bend the knees, shake out your knees. And we'll do that again. So this will take some time, which of course we don't have right now, but just something to start playing with. So chest is up, elbows are slightly bent or straight, depending on your proportions, right? You're going to push your broad hand, your fingertips into the ground, lift the chest and pick up that leg and lower it down. Eventually you should be able to do this with your back against a wall. Okay, now let's get back to the right. So in this one, it's sort of going to be a roll over, which is like an upside down roll up. And some of you have done the more advanced work, you know, a roll over, just like laying your back, bringing your legs over into like an upside down U shape, right? So I'll demo one, and then we'll do some of the pieces of it together, right? So the hands go forward and down. You push down with the arms. You lift the legs without really rocking the tail up. Now roll back. Push your hips off the ground. Now eventually the head is off the floor. You open the legs, recross, and then come up and roll up into your teaser, which we were just practicing. The arms circle back. Bring the thumbs together or the hands apart if this doesn't work. And then we dive forward, take a bow. And then the arms circle wide around, like embrace the air in front of you, bring your hands at your side. And then we stack the spine. So it's going to be all these different pieces, take a while to put together, but let's just try. And if it's just an approximation, that's great. You're still moving. Just watch so you don't slam your head on the ground when you go back, right? So go back with a little control from your core. So let's start right ankle over left. Push down, and we're going to see if you can lift the legs, and if not, curl the tail to lift them. Roll to your shoulder blades, head off the ground, open, recross the legs. Rock forward. To lift, come to your teaser, bend the knees if you need to. Yep. Open the arms behind you, pull the hands back, dive your head over to lower your knees. So the shape stays the same. Lift the hands, separate them. Now thumbs up, circle wide, palms forward, then bring your hands down on the floor by your ankles. Now press into the mat as you slide your hands down to feel the back work to lift you up. Yeah, fun, right? It's like, it strings all the exercises together, and you get to feel flow within an exercise as well as in between exercises, which is something you do as you progress in your mat work. So we push down, lift the legs, roll back, balance on the shoulders if you can, head down if you have to, open the legs to recross. Now roll up, use some momentum, you come up and hit your tees or bend your knees if that's where your body is, right? And then we circle the arms back, they go low, and then you reach back and they go higher. Suck the belly back, keep the curve of your spine as you go forward, the legs lower. Lift the arms, rotate thumbs up, palms forward. As you sweep the arms around, pull the shoulders back, hands onto the mat, and stack your spine upright. All right, and that was our grand finale for today.